I'd like to introduce now somebody who is a pioneer in the birthing world, but particularly has taken the issue of men and fathers. And Janel, she's a documentary producer and should be with us here. If you can unmute yourself, Janel, we'd love to hear from you. Just a few words.
Hello.
Hello,
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Hello from Washington.
Wow. Yes, Washington, D.C. Boy, I am so touched. I'm so grateful to be here and to have my film here, but I'm so touched by everything that's been said. I have so much energy running through me. I just want to like explode and dance and cry and hug you all and send love to all. And there's so much I want to say. My film is The Other Side of the Glass, and where to start? I started out to make a little tiny film about the difference between home birth and hospital birth. And my grandson was going to be a VBAC and could only be born in the hospital. And we had a doctor, an OB in Phoenix, all online to let him be left alone, let him crawl to the breast, like be mother baby centered. And he was going to be the example of how we can have a hospital birth, but it can be like a home birth. And boy, did we really learn that that's not possible. It was like they took a checklist and said, oh, you want this? And we got the opposite. And my then 12-year-old daughter was on the video, on the camera, and she captured it all. And she had that kid factor, so she was in there and caught it all. And my plan for the film just sort of fizzled away for about a year and I never even looked at the video. And then when I got ready to do the film, I went out to California with my colleague and mentor, David Chamberlain, and his wife, Donna, was a big part of the film getting going. And I had looked for somebody to help me do a film, and nobody understood it. They didn't understand the concept of what we're talking about here. So I said, well, I'm just going to go do it. And I got a little camera, and I was just a granny on a mission, is what I call it. Like I showed the film to David, or I showed the footage to David and a few other people, like Ray Castellino, who was my teacher. I did his 2-year program because I was a birth trauma therapist. I wasn't a filmmaker. So, and people in Nevada City that were part of our group there, I showed it to them. And one of the people was Donna's son. And from there, it became about fathers, hearing fathers' voices. And people ask me, how did you know to do that? And well, the answer is this film is part of my healing, because my father was present at my birth in 1956. And I was the third child, and he was present at all 6 of his children's births from 1949 to 1970. And my movie is a granny on a mission, and I learned filmmaking and I learned editing, and it's not Hollywood, it's not fancy, but it has heart, and it talks about all the things we're talking about here. And the thing that I learned, one of the big things I learned, is that my father never had a place to talk about this. The first birth he was allowed because they thought they were going to lose my brother and my mother, which they didn't, clearly. But that's why he was allowed in. And he witnessed this. And the doctor gave my father a choice. This 21-year-old kid, farm boy from Iowa, gave him a choice of your wife or your baby. It's crazy. And then my sister was born in the labor bed because the doctor had left, and the nurse said, oh, honey, you're not ready yet, and went to dinner. And at the end of the film, I love the clips at the end of movies. There's a clip of my mom and dad sharing that story, and they were in their 80s, and they still get very animated sharing this story. And then my birth. And so my father was powerful, strong. He defended us. He was wounded. And so this film is about me healing my relationship with my father. And in the process, like, I love how this came together, Julie, because my film was intuitive. I thought I was going to do one thing and it took over and it came out of me. And the information in there is so profound to me sometimes, like, wow, it's like having a baby. Like 4 times I've given birth and I'm always like, wow, that's amazing. Like, and my film is like that too. Like, I can't even believe that I did this. And these things came out of me, and things like his moment of awe, where the family needs the father's first moment when he sees the baby is his moment of awe. And most men don't get that. And when I started the film, I thought it was going to be about how we need to, because I saw my grandson being born, and my brother or my son-in-law not being able to stop it, and me not being able to stop it. And I thought, oh, this is going to be about how to prepare fathers to protect their family in the hospital. But it's not that at all. And we have to really change that thinking, Francois, about, oh, fathers need to protect in the hospital, because no, hospital people need to protect the family. They need to back away and let that mother and that baby have that moment of unity. And the father's just witnessing and experiencing it. And they're always like in shock. Like, the fathers all told me, that's when it was real. That's when I became a father, was when the baby was here. Before that, it was an abstract construct. And then let them come together. Let the baby and the mother do the breast crawl, and like leave them alone. And I don't see any reason why we can't do that in the hospital. I don't see any reason why we can't create a system where we have what the family and the baby need. Mm-hmm. And now, years later, here I am in Washington, D.C., trying to find, the way to, I've always been very much about, we need to change this medical system. And that comes from when I was born and was a very traumatic birth. Like, this has to stop. And the actual experience of birth is so absent in most of the conversations about creating this new humanity. But we have, if we're going to create the humanity that we say that we want, we have to stop harming this soul, this incarnating soul, and destroying the connection of the mother and the baby. We have to stop separating mothers and babies. We have to believe that women's bodies work, and that they know how to do it, and that the mother in that moment is being imprinted with the most powerful information. Like, she's either being told, like, yes, you can do this, this is your baby, this baby, you can do this, or nope, you don't know anything, it's only the system knows, and from now on we're gonna tell you when you can go to work and when you can leave your baby and what your baby can do at school and when your baby goes to the doctor, like all of that. We have to really create a new system within the medical system. And my film has so much in it, but one of the things that I want to come out of it is that men are the ones to realize, oh, I was harmed. And even if I haven't had a baby or I'm not planning to, I have to show up to make the systemic changes for all women and all babies and all little boy and little girl babies that are going to grow up to be men and women. And that's what we need to, I was distracted by a message. Yoko, you're so sweet. We have to create this system that honors the family and the mother and the baby. Is that my 5 minutes? Yes, I was going to talk slow for...
Thank you so much for being here with us live at this opening ceremony. And I just want to say that to everybody who's here and everybody, more than 500 of us who've signed up for this event, Janel is very, very kindly giving everybody a free copy of her documentary series, which I believe goes on for 2.5 hours. So we were going to actually show you the trailer now, but we're a little bit behind on time. So we won't be able to do that, but we will pin the documentary in the video so you'll be able to see it on Hoover anytime. And we will be giving you a link. Everybody will receive a message with a link where you can have free access to this movie. So please give a big round of spirit fingers to Janel for offering us that wonderful, wonderful gift and the sharing with us today. And that is absolutely priceless. Thank you so much, Janel. And I'm sure you'll be on Hoover. People can contact you and continue the conversations about men. There will be a men's panel and a men's group. And the men's group is just for men. And the panel, obviously, everybody is welcome. So thank you so much, Janel. That's wonderful to have you here with us today.